Hi, Neve.
So I think maybe you may have to pick on anyone here, but I don't think Amanda's probably been doing that enough, and I coached her up.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to this week's Spa PR Takes 10. So this week we're going to be speaking to Shara, who's the co-founder of Dose. So Dose is a multimedia... Oh, she's just requested to join, so let me just let her in. This is a multimedia wellbeing platform. So we'll just let her in.
Hi.
Hi, how are
Hi.
you?
How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, all good.
Okay.
Thank you so much for joining. So
My
nice to
pleasure.
meet you. So if you want to start by just telling us a little bit about Dose and the background story of how you and Hetty came up with the brand and why you felt that the wellness space was kind of missing something like Dose.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dose is about 4.5 years old now, and myself and my co-founder Hetty Holmes, who is our editor, at the time 4.5 years ago, we were at the peak of the wellness industry. And to be honest, we were just very, very frustrated that there wasn't a platform or a magazine that spoke to us, which were two women that love to work out, but also reward ourselves for that, and in a curious kind of health conscious way. So wanted the vegan pizza or the biodynamic glass of wine afterwards.
Yeah, and I love that because I think so many brands are it's all about wellness, and wellness is only that one thing, and it's not really having that mixture of how it's about what actually just makes you feel good. Wellness doesn't have to just be doing the things that are good for your body in that way, but actually what actually just makes you feel good. And that's obviously where your name comes from as well. So do you want to just tell everyone what the acronym of your brand name is?
Yeah, absolutely. So as everyone knows, the name is Dose, and as Emily very clearly put it, everything we talk about on our website, podcast, newsletter is all about making you feel good across wellness categories. So the brand name stands for Dopamine, Oxytocin, Serotonin and Endorphins, which are all your hormones that make you feel happy.
Yeah, exactly. And so as a multimedia platform, I know you have so many different things that you use. So Instagram, you've got the website, but then you've got TikTok, the podcast. So is there one that you find is the most beneficial for reaching your audience, or do you kind of use different platforms for different content and to reach different people?
Yeah, that's a really good question, actually. We started the business purely as a newsletter, so we find that our newsletter is super engaged, and that's a really good way of reaching people for last minute activities, events and things they want to do that week and inspire them. The podcast is a little bit more lengthy interviews, which we find really inspirational guests. So it really does depend on what exactly we're working on at the time.
Yeah, exactly. So on your podcast, you've obviously interviewed some amazing people. So could you tell us a bit about the people that go on there and any advice that you've heard from the podcast that has really stuck with you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't host the podcast myself, Hetty does, but I love listening to it, I have to say. So recently we've had some really different guests. We've had Professor Green, who recently started a gut health brand, and he's actually fascinating to talk to. He's had obviously an amazing music career, but suffered himself with loads of gut problems and has since developed a range of supplements. So that's a really great one. We had Jessica Ennis-Hill, who was fantastic, talking about coming back to like the athletics after having a baby so quickly. We also recently had Spencer Matthews from used to be Made in Chelsea, and one of my favorite recent ones was Maisie Hill, who I'm not sure if you come across her.
Did she write Period Power?
She did.
Yeah, I've got that book on my bookshelf, but I haven't read it yet, but apparently it's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't read the book, but the podcast was just an eye-opener. And I think one of the best things I learned from that was, I mean, she's obviously an absolute master of her trade and understands the female cycle, but she knows when to focus at different times of her month in different areas of work. So she, uses the beginning of her cycle to like knuckle down and do her writing when she's got the most energy and creativity. So that made me really think about how, as a woman,
I've been reading this book at the moment called Code Red by Lisa Lister, who is kind of like a menstrual spiritual health coach.
Wow.
And she says how you should track your cycle. So that's, I'm assuming, what Maisie does. So each month you track how you're feeling, not even just when you're bleeding, but all of the days, like even the first day of your cycle or the 10th day, like your energy levels, how you're feeling, if you could feel like you're more, you can do things, you can do exercise, or you're more like you need to go inwards and be a bit more slow flow kind of thing. And then it's so interesting how she's applying that to her work and her career, because it's so true. You work better at different times when you have different energy levels.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really interesting. I need to listen to that one.
I think there's so much noise out there at the moment about hormones. So we're really happy, because obviously we've been talking about them for a long time, but it's just wonderful that people are talking about them more, and there's all these experts coming out. So yeah, definitely a good one for you to listen to.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously you've just recently launched your first ever product. So well done.
Thank you.
But I thought you could just maybe tell everyone about the different Hit Me Up spray and Smells Like Yoga, and what those aromatherapy sprays do, what kind of essential oils they have in them, and what they can expect from spraying them around their aura.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was actually 2 years ago, and not in the middle of COVID, as many people think, that we decided that we wanted to launch our own range. And we, looked at our brand, and we have to create a product range that makes people feel absolutely amazing. And we wanted to tap into like your hormones naturally, and then essential oils. It was a part of our own passion points. And we were like, actually, this is a really interesting market. So we were very fortunate. We have this amazing audience that we did some research in, and we asked people, what do you want? If you had something for your wellness routine, what's missing? And everyone came back and said, oh, I want something that calms me down, or I want something that gives me energy. So that's how mood mists were born. So I actually have them here that I can show you. So we have Hit Me Up mood boosting mist. Sorry, I've got really bad light. And this one is really citrusy. They all contain natural oils. And then we have Smells Like Yoga, which is a bit more calming. Lots of lavenders, ylang ylang. And as you said, you just simply like spritz.
Yeah.
And take that breath, and it's like a reset in your day when you need it. Pre-workout, post-workout, it's on my desk all day. So that's what we're really kind of working on at the moment, like really great products with essential oil to fire you up.
And what I love about mine, because I've obviously got them at home as well, but I love that you don't just have to use it. So with my Hit Me Up one, you don't just have to use it before you do a workout, but say you're going into an interview or a meeting that you're a bit nervous about, spray that and you get the same kind of energy boost that you would need for a workout. Or with the Smells Like Yoga one, obviously I spray it when I do a yoga class, but also for my meditation, or when I'm just going to bed wanting to go a bit more calm and inwards as well, which I love. Do you have one that's your favorite?
Oh, this is such a hard question. Everyone always asks this. I'm quite an energetic person, so even though I like a Hit Me Up spray in the morning, just like workout or not, I think Smells Like Yoga is very much needed with my personality. So I use it going to bed. I use it if I'm like completely wired from work and need a moment to take that kind of like incredible breath and inhale something that's going to change my chemistry. Yeah.
So obviously with the wellness landscape during coronavirus times and the pandemic, it's obviously changed the kind of trends that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
So I wondered if you'd seen any trends that have come about during the pandemic that you actually see sticking.
Yeah.
The pandemic as we enter this new normal, what kind of things do you think people have realized that they need more of in their life, or which trends do you see sticking more?
Well, another really good question, actually. I think obviously everyone's had to work out at home, think about like our fitness and movement routines, but we are seeing that people sort of realize the value of their time. So we're definitely seeing people stick to a kind of hybrid structure in the same way people are going back to the office part-time. So people are still working out at home a little bit, because you go to your room next door and you save half an hour commute. We're also seeing from our audience in particular, people that are loving being outside more, like walking has never been more important, being amongst nature.
Definitely.
And then also bonding with your local community, like talking about Oxytocin. It's about finding those local people that you may not have had as strong relationships with a year ago, but are now like your friends, and carrying on that behavior and that routine of those walks.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, especially with the workouts, I don't really see myself going back to a gym now, because I've bought all the equipment. You've got everything you need at home, and for me, I find myself actually more comfortable in my own space. I don't really love working out in front of people, so I like that you can just be at home. So I definitely think I'll be sticking to home workouts.
Yeah, I'm the same. I've become a hybrid creature that treats myself to a workout when I go into meetings.
And I think actually I don't think I'll join a gym, but I can see myself, if I want to do a specific yoga class, or I know you can't really recreate, I've never done hot yoga, but something like that, I don't feel like you can recreate that at home. So I think then you'd be more likely to spend a bit more money on just like the one session to really get that experience, and it's a bit more of a treat then, isn't it, as well?
Absolutely, totally agree.
So my last question is, what's your favorite happy hormone, and how do you best get it flowing?
Oh, this is another hard question. If you ask Hetty, my business partner, she calls me dopamine machine because I'm quite energetic and I'm sort of like on as soon as I wake up. As much as I love dopamine and it fuels me every day, I think I do love serotonin because I know I need it to focus on it more. Am I allowed to say two? So
yeah, you can say two.
I am a sucker for a sweaty workout and something that raises me cardio and to clear my mind. So it is sort of my favourite.
Definitely. I think I would say mine's oxytocin.
Ooh.
Yeah, but then I guess you need all of them to have a healthy balance. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Took the words out of my mouth.
Exactly. Oh, thank you so much, Shara, for joining. And
thank you.
To you.
Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations on your new role.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Speak to you later.
Bye.
Bye.